In today's episode, we dive into a shocking new development that is sending chills through Europe, and US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin have reportedly pushed forward with Ukraine peace talks without Kyiv or European leaders at the table. The move has sparked outrage, with critics warning that history is dangerously close to repeating itself. A British historian, Professor Anthony Glee, has drawn alarming parallels between this negotiation and the infamous 1938 Munich Agreement, when Hitler and Mussolini coerced the UK and France into signing away Czechoslovakia, Sudetenland. Glee urges that, just like back then, a small democracy, Ukraine, is being forced into the sidelines while two powerful figures make decisions about its fate. Professor Glee has called Trump and Putin land grabbers and brothers in bullying others. He believes the situation is highly similar to pre-World War II Europe, where appeasement only led to further aggression. In his words, a small but brave free democracy is fighting for its life, while Trump and Putin tramples over it. In his usual blunt style, Trump has never suggested that Ukraine should have negotiated with Russia long before the war began in 2022. Speaking at the Mar-a-Lago, he said, "Today I heard, oh well, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years ago. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal."
3 years, you should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal. I could have made a deal for Ukraine that would have given them almost all of the land, everything, almost all of the land, and no people would have been killed, and no city would have been demolished, and not one dome would have been knocked down. But they chose not to do it that way.
National Security Advisor Mike Waltz had confirmed that Trump is very frustrated with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Speaking at the White House briefing, Waltz suggested that Zelensky had refused to come to a table despite the opportunity being presented. Trump has even gone so far as to label Zelensky a dictator, a claim that has not gone down well with the European allies. It justified this claim by pointing to the Ukraine suspension of elections under martial law. However, critics, including German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, swiftly condemned Trump's statement as wrong and dangerous. Scholz and other European leaders have reiterated that Zelensky remains a democratically elected leader and that the true aggressor in this war is Russia, not Ukraine. The Ukrainian leader, however, is not backing down. Responding to Trump's comments, Zelensky accused Russia of using disinformation to manipulate the situation and dismissed Trump's claim that Ukraine should have prevented the war. Adding to the controversy, the US and Russia recently held their first high-level face-to-face talks in Saudi Arabia since the war began without Ukraine's involvement. This meeting has also fueled concerns that UK sovereignty is being decided behind closed doors. The White House briefing further revealed Trump's belief that Russia owes the upper hand in peace talks due to its territorial gains. He told the BBC that Russia has the cards because they've taken a lot of territory. This remarks has fueled fears that Trump would pressure Ukraine into accepting a deal that favors Moscow. Rather than upholding Ukraine's sovereignty, Trump has continued to insist that Ukraine bears responsibility for the conflict, stating, "You should have never started it. You could have made a deal." The backlash to Trump's comments has been swift and fierce. European leaders have denounced any attempt to bypass Ukraine in peace negotiation, warning that any settlement reached without Kyiv's involvement will be illegitimate. France and the UK and other NATO allies have reaffirmed their commitment to supporting Ukraine, dismissing Trump's suggestion that Ukraine should have been forced into concession. With Starmer heading to Washington next week, all eyes will be on whether UK can influence the direction of these talks. Meanwhile, Zelensky and European leaders continue to insist that Ukraine must have a seat at the table. As the situation unfolds, one question looms large. Are we witnessing a modern-day Munich agreement where a small nation's fate is sealed by the decision of larger powers? Only time will tell, but for now, the tension between Ukraine Russia and the Trump administration is reaching a boiling point. That's all for today on our Head News. Stay tuned and please like, share, and subscribe as we continue to bring to you the latest updates on this unfolding geopolitical storm. Stay tuned.